Tanya Plibersek continues to upset everybody in her role as Environment Minister. She's been making a decision, or supposed to be making a decision, on salmon farming in Tasmania, which is worth about $1.3 billion to the state. The issue is a skate fish, which is classified as endangered in Macquarie Harbour, where they do salmon farming. She's been asked to determine whether or not the skate fish is endangered or whether it's critically endangered. The difference being, if it's critically endangered, then salmon farming in that harbour will be shut down. But she's just announced she's going to delay making a decision until after the federal election. She's put it off by 12 months, thereby angering everybody. The salmon farmers are upset because they've got no certainty about their future. And of course, the environmentalists are upset because they're demanding something be done to save the skate. Salmon Tasmania Chief Executive Luke Martin said there is clearly no justification for her to string out a decision on that process any longer, and she must end this completely unfair process for our workers, their families and communities. Have a listen to salmon farmer Adam Saltmarsh and his wife Samantha, who say they have no idea whether or not they've got a future in Tasmania because they're waiting for Tanya Plibersek to make a decision she doesn't want to make until after the election, lest it cost Labor votes.
This is where we always dreamt of raising our children. It's a beautiful town. It's a safe place to raise children, and they have a wonderful backyard. And this is where we want to stay. We don't want to go anywhere else. We believe that the salmon and the skate can coexist together.
For us to move away, it'd mean I'd have to move away from our kids, probably, do shift work, fly in, fly out, maybe for weeks at a time. So that means missing out on kids, school events, growing up, it's pretty daunting. It worries us a lot.
So while those families employed by the salmon industry have to sit on their hands for 12 months not knowing if they've got a future, environmentalists are unhappy as well. Bob Brown spoke to the media saying Tanya Plibersek has decided to do absolutely nothing. Sorry, not Bob Brown, Bob Brown Foundation campaigner, Alistair Allen, I should have said. He said Tanya Plibersek has decided to do absolutely nothing. Minister Plibersek is ignoring her role as Environment Minister while we're seeing a global extinction crisis and potentially putting the decision off to someone else post-federal election. This is fairly typical of Labor, Caleb, not wanting to make decisions because they're worried about certain electoral seats and how they might be affected at the next election. So to simply put off a decision until after the election smacks of someone who's paid to do a job deliberately not doing a job.
Well, everything seems to be political in terms of the environmental decisions that Tanya Plibersek makes at the moment, because, of course, we can't have the Blaney gold mine because that might look bad at home in her seat and the other seats in the inner city of Sydney, where they're worried about the Greens vote, and, of course, can't make a decision, on the other hand, down in Tasmania because it might cost Labor votes. And as Paul Murray outlined in his program earlier, those seats in Tasmania are going to be very important to whether or not Dutton has any chance of forming a government at the next federal election. Seriously, though, I mean, the more G and skate, and you can have a look at this thing here, he's an ugly-looking bugger, but why don't we put the people first? Seriously. Yeah. We're talking about jobs for thousands of people, and we're talking about food to eat. To be perfectly honest, couldn't care less whether the more G skate disappears from the harbour. Go and collect some of these critters up and go and put them in an aquarium or something somewhere so that they don't die.
Oh, look at that thing. Can't have that thing go extinct.
Like we have a way
My quality of life would plummet.
We have a way of preventing them from going extinct forever. Put them in an aquarium somewhere. But this is about jobs for Australians and food for Australians.
There's strange things, environmentalists. I mean, I've got 99 problems, but the extinction of the skatefish certainly isn't one of them. And like you say, what person in their right mind would sacrifice salmon for whatever the heck that thing was? It looked like a weird-looking stingray.